money. We only gave out 1 month, and we still didn't give out to everybody. And I mean, it's easy to forget if you are going back out to work and you didn't apply. But what about the people who did apply, who not going back out to work and who still waiting
Yeah,
to receive this money? It's a kind of tricky
yeah.
position that we're putting a lot of people in. Anyway, I wanted to show your first video because you want to jump into that discussion. You did a walkabout on Saturday. I think we have some pictures of you on that walkabout this Saturday that we can put up on the screens now. Waiting for Satish to add those. What areas is Lima? The Hub?
Yeah, on Observatory Street and the Hub, yeah.
You and Dominic and Christian De Leon did a walkabout in that constituency, well, in that electoral district this weekend. Yes, I recognize that particular area. There's also a video that I want to show right now. I think this is a video that sparked my interest in bringing you on to the program today. And we will play that video right after.
Hi, good morning. We are in the hub here, and what I was told is that this one tank is for 2 buildings, right? Look at the 2 buildings, these two. How on earth could this one tank facilitate 2 apartments? 2 buildings, sorry. With 16 apartments each. How is that possible? The Belmont Girls RC has 2 tanks that size for a less amount of children. And you have apartments, people washing, cooking, cleaning. How is that possible? So right now, some of the apartments on the top floor do not have water. Stuart Young, is this the representation that you are speaking about? Look at this hole here. You have children playing. Look at the exercise equipment. Look how close it is to here. Anybody could trip over this and fall in and damage themselves. Look at that wire sticking out there. There's another hole there. People could fall and damage themselves and hurt themselves. This is not representation. You are supposed to be down on the ground with your people. Where are you? Look at this garbage here. This is an HDC planning. Why is the place looking like this? This is unkept. This is nasty. This is not public health. Look at it. Why?
Lima, so you highlighted some issues in that video and really, I told you this privately, and I'm telling you on the show as well. I think you did a really good job with highlighting that issue or those issues because there were several issues that you highlighted in that a 2 minute video, starting with the water tank. I am aware of the buildings, and for those who don't know, the harp consists of what, about 4 or 5? How many is it,
More than
two?
that, no, it is about six.
6 HGC towers in the hub, and we have 2 water tanks. I have 2 water tanks, Limo, in my home. My home of 3 people, 2 water tanks. That entire apartment, those 6 buildings, they are operating on those 2 water tanks. So, what is their situation?
No,
Did you speak to
two
anybody?
buildings for that one tank.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But it's still, I mean, that's still terrible though. 2 buildings
Yeah,
for 2 water tanks. What was the
yeah.
response from the residents in that area about that particular issue?
Some of them, I don't know, like they conditioned to live with it. So for some of them, they just make and do with it. But for a lot of others, it's an issue. They have to walk with buckets and bathe with buckets to conserve. But my whole issue is that that's a 10,000 gallon tank, right? Belmont Girls has two 10,000 gallon tanks, and sometimes that will be enough for the children.
Hmm.
Children waste water in it. But for adults who washing, cooking, cleaning, bathing, And then you might have some adults who not into conserving water or remembering that, wait, it's one tank, other rest they get water.
Yeah.
So all of those things. And that is an unfair situation. The Minister of Health on TV talking about wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. How are you going to do that? And then some of those HGC, but it's not single people living there. A lot of them are families with small children. So, you always have to be washing hands, washing clothes, washing out their bottles. Every single thing you have to wash for them. So you're using more and more water. I don't understand how they come up with that. Is there some physics that they're using? Right. So each house will use this amount of cubic meters of water, and that family will use this. It just does not make sense. It really
It
doesn't.
absolutely.
I have 3 tanks for my home. 3 tanks. You have one for a 16 apartment building. Well, for 2 apartments with 16, 2 buildings with 16 apartments in it. And then
So
you have these people there, the bin. You see how high the bin is? When some parents send their children down to dispose garbage, as one of the residents was explaining, he said that most of the time the children can't even flip the bag over the bin because how high the bin wall is, and they can't open the gate to throw the bag in. So is it that they don't have a groundsman? Why didn't they employ somebody like that to see the interest of the grounds? He could have been a plumber, a tradesman. He could have do a little bit of plumbing, electrical, cut the grass, maintain the compound. You don't have somebody like that on the compound.
because HGC residents do deserve that, and I'm being very sarcastic here, because I mean those are things that if you join in or being you're living in an apartment building, you would assume would come with would come
Perks.
with you living there. Perks, you would say. But in this country, you wait 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years for a HGC apartment. They put you in it, and then you still have to go and fork out your own money for maintenance and
And
keeping up the
then the
ground.
unfortunate part is they don't own those apartments, they are renting. So after 30 something years, there's no rent to own, there's no deed you're getting or anything, they just renting. So if somebody kick the bucket, once you don't live with whoever it is in that house, they will vacate you and give somebody else. So why you're not giving these people that security, that equity? Because at the end of the day, once you get a deed, you could, you have worth. So is it that they using them as political tools? You will vote for PNM. Otherwise, you will never get, I don't understand it, because why wouldn't you want to give people that sense of security?
But you also highlighted some other things in the video, such as the play area, etc. Tell me what that experience was like walking about there and having children of your own and seeing the conditions under which they have to play, where they have to walk, etc.
The compound isn't bad, it's just poorly designed and maintained, because the hole that we showed you, that's about 3 to 4 feet deep. So while you're falling in there, you could hit your head on part of it, break your foot on the next part, puncture some part of you. And they cover it with these huge slabs. So, and these slabs wobbly. So, I mean, and it's children, children going to be running all over the place. And especially boys. Boys love to run. Everything is running. That is a disaster waiting to happen. One of the manhole covers had pieces of wire sticking up. Now imagine you trip and fall on that. That's immediate hospital. I asked the guy, I say, I hope you all don't have any differently abled or blind people living here. And he said, Gil, fortunately not. Because I don't know how blind people was going to make it around that yard.
What about people
It
in
is. It
wheelchairs?
is.
How would making it around the yard as well? You wheel and fall
Well,
into that hole. Is it for you?
yeah, I mean, welcome to Jumanji, I guess. I don't know. Take it at your own risk. I really don't know because it's ridiculous. The mango tree they have there, real nice Julie mango tree, halfway overgrown with some weed that could possibly kill the tree. They have a couple other cherry trees and stuff, but it's like, oh gosh, they put up some decorative trees, but why didn't plant more local fruit trees? Plum, governor, pomerac. Even though because it's an agency doesn't mean you have to not have things that people could benefit from. You don't gain them water, get them fruits or something too now.
But that's what it looks like though, Lemma. It looks like, you know what? You can't even own your place. You have to rent. We're not going to maintain your grounds. Hard luck for you. Water, you don't need that.
No.
Having a bin that people could easily access, that's not for you. So trees and things to make your environment look nice, you're not deserving it. I mean, that's how, based on what I saw in the video. And again, for those who don't know this area in the Harp is coming out of Belmont, heading into the city, and it is
Most people just
a
fly past
fitness
there because
package. So
the kind of characters that you just see lining outside would intimidate people. So most people would fly past there, wouldn't even look inside.
exactly, but these are people, these are residents who, for a lot, many of them, they continue to vote PNM. And Lema, you said that you met some of the older heads who seemed happy or content with the way things are. What was that like? Because I mean, again, looking at the video and seeing as a citizen what they have to live with. Again, this is not your own house, your own apartment that you have full response. This is an agency government stamped approved building where and whose surroundings are, I mean, come
Yeah.
on, they wouldn't do that to their own family and friends. Why is it that the people who responsible and who vote for them, Stuart Young, his office is not near the house?
Yeah, literally next door. Literally a stone's throw away.
So
Jason De
where is
Silva did
he
a
not
video showing the constituency office, and right behind the office you saw the apartments. But a lot of people saying that he is when he comes, he'd wave to them like the Lord waving to his peasants, and then get in his office. They say he don't walk around, he don't do anything, and a lot of the people are saying that once they vote for you, they don't see you again, they don't hear from you if they have any complaints. Is make appointment, go through this, that, the other. And as I was telling somebody, when you want to vote, you don't tell me make an appointment to make that vote. Why they don't do
precisely?
that? Because you're walking about hot and sweaty to get the people vote. You know where everybody living. You know, fancy this one and miss this one and that one. You're smiling and you're hugging up everybody. But time to get them the grant, you ain't going to find them to do that. You have to make an appointment at my office and speak to my secretary. Right? That's the foolishness that I just can't take, and people be making dotish excuses for that. If you could find me to get my vote, find me to find out how I go in too. When I come and tell you we have problems on this street, you find your ass there. Don't tell me shipping as well. Make an appointment. If I make an appointment, how are you going to see what the problem is if you need to see it physically? Where are your counselors? I up to now don't know who my counselor is. Half of them say a lot of counselors living in the buildings, in HDC planning. Well, I say, but that defeats in the purpose. Where's the purpose then? You have counselors living in the building and not one of them could see a problem with what's going on. But then that goes to show you how local government system is a failure and it really does not work. The councillors do not have the power or the authority to do anything. And as much as they want to give them more power, most of them using it for personal gain rather than to help the people.
Indeed. So Lemma, out of that entire situation, what was the general feedback? I mean, what was the consensus from the residents? in terms of the discussions that you had with them, I'm sure they would have noticed the same problems as you. And I'm not talking
Yeah,
about the PNM till are dead ones. I'm talking about the ones who they're not brainwashed. Hopefully, I want to say as
yeah.
yet, but let's say they're not brainwashed, and they're obviously observing what is happening around them. We just raised the issue of the constituency office being right next to their building. What is the general feeling as it pertains to what they have to live in, the conditions in which they live under, the response from the MP, from the local government minister? How are they as residents? What was the feedback that you got from them generally?
A lot of them are unhappy with PNM. They're not interested in hearing anything about PNM. A lot of them have also said that, they don't have intentions of voting again because who they will vote for. So when we introduced ourselves and stuff, they were saying, thank God it have a third party that they are, they're willing to give us a try, because what they're saying is whether you give PNM or UNC a vote, nothing changes for them. So you might as well try somebody else. A lot of them said they
Indeed.
campaigned with PNM and walk about with PNM, and they said they don't get any thanks in return, nothing. And it's a set of fight down too that they get when they do the walkabouts with them. So a lot
But
of people were complaining about it.
you think at this point it has registered to them as yet that they are just the foot soldiers and the bodies to make up part of the campaign, and they just do all the hard work while the people that they put in office reap the rewards of the hard work? You think it has started to register to them? Because right here in Belmont, I see some people, especially those who would have campaigned for the last local government election. Some of them get through with the corporation, but some didn't. But I don't know. To me, I'm not sure if it has registered to them yet that whatever they get in return is still not. It doesn't add up to what these government ministers take from them when they do get into office. I mean, they go in there and they get blue lights following them around. They get all the perks of tax-free allowance. They get housing allowance. They get meals. I mean, the life that you
They
live
get
of
battery
the life that
vehicles, they get
exactly.
must see grocery allowance or some kind of thing, because I don't understand all these perks and you still can't see the reality everybody else facing. Plus a pension, which by the way, they increased when they came into office, and that was the first time you saw the opposition work together with this government to increase pension. So, Pep, once we get in there, that's the first thing we should do. Cut our damn pension. No, all you're living off the treasury too long.
Wean yourself off the government.
Wean yourself off the treasury. No more of that. You don't get VAT free this, tax free that, all kind of thing. Come on, what happen? Is there more on welfare than us?
Indeed.
And by the way,
All right.
that pension
Mm-hmm.
is indexed. So it is going to be increased every 3 years, regardless.
Pension is what?
Their pension is going to be increased every 3 years. The new legislation that they would have changed. So every 3 years, their pension going to be going up.
And these are the things that you as caretaker and us here in the Progressive Empowerment Party try to get people to understand. And that's what I was pointing out. Your corporation job and your little $500 on the day to drive up to pick up Tanti from on top the hill to take her to vote, that doesn't no way
Mhm.
add up to what the people that you put in office benefit and get after we put them in office. And this is something that I know, Lima, you guys are working really hard to bring across to people. And change is not easy for people to accept, but if you see that they were willing and to listen with an open mind, it really means that people in this country are getting fed up of the way things are and the
Yeah,
way things have been going. And I think and I
yeah.
hope that they finally start to realize that government come and government go. Who really benefiting and who really suffering at the end of the day is always them.
Yeah, and they And what these people fail to realize, the parliamentarians and councillors, people see things and they talk about it. They were saying, as soon as some of them get councillor, they move out of the area, they buy fancy car, and they go on. They only show up ever so often as a lord to check the presence and take notes. Yes, 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 right, okay, that, and then nothing gets done.
I know which minister, I know which local council you're talking about. I feel I know which one is.
Yeah.
Who doesn't go for the children or the dog?
He come and bring his tablet, then I hear in the car only revving up in the game.
All right, moving on to the
Okay.
second video, Lemma, that you did. I think Dominic would have filmed this one. This is up on the lady,
Yeah.
highlighting the landslide issue. For those who did not see that
Yeah.
video, we're going to play one now. That Lemma, I actually attended that walk as well, highlighting what was a landslide issue on the Lady Young.
Listen, good morning. Pep in the house here. We'll be up on the Lady Young this morning. I'm joined with Deputy Political Leader and Head of the Women's Arm, Lemma McLeod Wilkinson. Good morning. Mobilization Officer for the Youth Arm. And the lovely party chairman, Miss Felicia Holder. Good morning, Felicia. Now we are this morning highlighting an issue with these landslides that have been here for almost 2 years that have been affecting many families and homes on the inclines. We're going to try and interview them this morning and spread the word of PEP. Now what we're looking at here is just a little piece of the landslide that extends so far up the road.
Yep.
All right. So that was the walk that we did about a week and a half ago. Lemma, tell us a little bit more about that situation that is taking place on the Lady Young. How long it's been going on, etc.
That has been allowed to deteriorate for over 2 to 3 years. And I say allowed because when it first started happening, I'm sure they would have rushed and attended to the people. And apparently under the UNC government, they were going to fix it and build a wall or whatever the case is. And then UNC came out of office. PNM took office. And I think what they were saying is that PNM rather move them. But the wall would be the cheapest thing than to relocate families. All you have to do is build a strong, stable, retaining wall and then I guess backfill. Because there is a lot of land that would have slipped. It's a few feet from the pit that would have been caught, that would have had the landslide. So a lot of these people backyard and thing go on.
I attended that walk with you, and I remember passing that area. Well, I pass on the Lady Young fairly often. I've never been on the side that we actually walked on, though, to actually see these people literally living at the edge of a precipice. One earthquake, one day of heavy rainfall away from literally having their homes fall onto the Lady Young itself. This issue has been going on, they said, how long? 10 years? More than that?
Yeah.
About 10 years now. And
a while, yeah. Yeah. But the thing about it is you're actually seeing there, and it's like, why these people just have to do that kind of shit? So they're living there more than 30 years. Obviously, it wasn't like that when they were there. If people knew the history of the Lady Young, they would have known the Americans built that. So maybe there were houses before when they decided to do the road. So why you will blame the people if you don't know? When people putting up their houses up the hills in the west, nobody does say anything how they're cutting down the mountain and they're doing whatever to cause flooding lower down, because that is what has caused flooding lower down in certain areas in Glencoe, All them posh people who feel they could have money to build a high rise, this, that, the other, and they're building box drain coming down. The volume of water coming down is what has caused the flooding lower down. But people don't say nothing about that. You don't want to talk about that. But you want to talk about the little black people who build a little house over time and they're donkey years. A lady said she was there. She remember when we got independence. So you could come and say now why she went and chose to build and live there. For all you know, that is what she got. The piece of land that she was entitled to. Trinidadians need to stop doing that stupidness. It's good for the rich people to do what the hell they want, but the poor man mustn't do it.
Well said. And I mean, looking at well, again, like I said, I attended this walk with you, and looking at the situation as it pertains to what is going on with the landslide, it is almost mind-boggling to believe that it has been allowed to go on for so long. And like you said, Lima, the fact that they want to move them out of the residence is someone, I think, was it you? Somebody mentioned that I was prime property for any developer. Is it that they're trying to move them out because of their safety, or are they
Yeah,
going to move them out, build the retaining wall, and then sell the property for 10, 20 times the value to the same 1%ers and
yeah.
highfalutin
But you
rich
know that
people to
PNM
come and
style? Yeah, build a fancy house with the fireworks and have balcony looking over the Lady Young.
And that's something that I've heard people say, and I have to agree. Laventille and parts of Laventille, that's our Laventille area, is prime real estate property, you know. And
Yes.
you have to wonder if these
Yeah.
people have been allowed to and forced to live like this intentionally so that they can get fed up, so that they can move out, so that when the government offer them quarter the price or quarter the money that their homes are worth, they're so desperate because they don't want to have their homes fall into the road. They take that buyout money, they move, and then they go and they sell it to the highest bidder. But when you look at it, I
Yeah.
mean, poor Tansy, I will never forget Tansy. Tansy looks like she, like you said, she there since independence, and I really sympathize with these people. That is their home. I'm trying to imagine what I would feel like now
Yeah.
if somebody comes and tells me you have to move out of the home that you have lived in for the past 26, 27
Yeah.
years of your life just because of your and the government's incompetence as it pertains to just fixing the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many of them,
And then
I
to
and I
what?
hear
Go
them.
and get them some HDC house that they build on some riverbed. So next, when we get too much of water, they get flood out and they lost everything.
What has the response, and I already know the answer to this, but what was the response from the local government and the MP for the area with fixing that particular landslide issue?
They said Fitzgerald Hines used to come up to visit and wash his car by the car wash at the bottom of the hill, and they said as soon as he became MP, he no longer came. They visited Adrian Leon's office. They discussed issues. He was supposed to come back and have a meeting, but his thing is to get them out to move instead of building a retaining wall. So what we need to ask is, what is really the agenda of having these people move? Obviously now is the place for for one of young people.
Lima, when you told these people that you are from the Progressive Empowerment Party and what you are about, what was their response? Are they hopeful, or are they just expecting the same old? Because I mean, if I was living there and going through that and having people come up in my face after every election, every local government election, every general election, making promises, what was their response to new
A lot of
governance
people
and
were
chance of
happy that we have a
like,
third option, and that is the general consensus. Finally, somebody else to vote for, because PNM and UNC do the same thing over and over. And they say it, we're going to have a hard fight, but they're glad that it have a third party option. And that's the thing,
anything
PEP is
else.
an option.
Finally, like literally finally. And I remember when I was getting, well, not getting, when I reached the boiling point with PNM and UNC, and I was like, what now, boy? Because I didn't want to end up being one of those people who just do vote. Because as much as I didn't believe in any of those two parties. I'm also a very strong believer in my, practicing my democratic rights as a citizen of being able to select and choose a government. My only problem is I only had a set of nonsense to pick from two different sides of the same coin. And I'm going to throw a little jab here, two different sides of the same coin that I would forever say is two different sides of the same coin. No amount of money from
Yeah.
any party to tempt me to bring me over to their side could make me ever believe that one of them is better or worthy of my attention or support over the other. So for
Yeah.
people who suddenly discover that UNC or PNM is the choice, you know, I hope you know that you
Yeah, I
sound
mean,
like a
the thing about
hypocrite.
it is, though, if people open their eyes without the bias of which party they support, they would see that these PNM and UNC politicians only getting rich off the treasury or off of us, but we are the ones who have to bear the burden for everything. We are the one who going to get taxed and is licensed for this. Is the merit system for driving. The roads bad but you have to make sure your car could drive on the poor roads that we have. But mind you, if I bust my tire, damage my shocks and dent my rim, who compensating me for that? Because I didn't put the pothole there. These people with their
Precisely.
overinflated egos that they rolling around like, lords here, and they forget their purpose. They forget why they were put there. Stuart Young Ball, how he will not resign. And it's like, really? You don't have that option to say that choice. We say we want you fired. But
Lemon,
he's a
there was a
lord and he
survey.
believes.
There was not a survey. There was a release put out by the constituents of Port of Spain, North and West that said we support Stuart Young. Did they interview you? Because they didn't interview me. Do you
No,
know anybody that
I was
interviewed? Because
on that Belmont page, and a lot of people said that they didn't know anything about that. And that's only the Licas PNM Council doing that to appease his ego, because it have nobody else in the right mind who will ever say anything about that when garbage can't get picked up on time. So after this whole weekend, my garbage was only picked up this morning, and I'm not even sure if it really was picked up because I heard when the truck passed. I'm assuming it was picked up. I don't know if they had room in the truck to actually pick it up. We can't get water consistently. The road's bad, but you telling me stupidness about we support Stuart Young? People getting killed in Cascade, gunned down and drive by. But that's the representation we want? You're not serious. And then want to come and talk
Lemon,
about Madam Speaker of the Parliament.
You highlighted two issues. One in Port of Spain, North and West itself. One on the outskirts of Port of Spain, North and West. Can you tell me, and my answer, anyway, I wouldn't sully your response, but can you tell me at least one thing? Can you name five things? It's not five, four, or it's not four, three, two, or one thing that Stuart Young as MP has done for Port of Spain, North and West in the past 5 years?
I saw him walk about Lower Belmont once, and when I slowed down and I told him that we needed to see him up on this side, he's like, yes, and I'm very busy. But I will try. And he was walking around with Alderman Coker, who does just watch me now whenever he sees me, because he know that he was on complete ship walking around with him, because he knows Stuart Young not coming to do anything. He walk around hot and sweaty with Nicole Young for the by-election. We haven't seen him after that.
What is his track
I
record
don't
in the constituency? Anything tangible that you can point at and
Yeah,
said Stuart Young was responsible for that?
Yeah,
Anything?
being absent. Being absent. I don't have anything to say. I really don't know to say that I saw any change. What we get a new community center? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he can't even
That's not.
secure his own constituency and he's Minister of National Security. Come on.
Listen, I can't, and oh, that's a very good point that you just raised there, Lima. About 3 nights, 4 nights ago, I was outside sitting down in my house. It was not even 8 o'clock any night yet, and I just heard a rapid gunfire. And I mean, I live on a hill, so you're hearing the gunfire echoing from wherever I think it was over in Bella Road or whatever. But still, at that point, my mom came outside and just said, I want to lock up the house. And that's such an uncomfortable way to live your life. It's such, I mean, you want to sit down outside the inside whole day, you're under COVID-19 lockdown. It's not like you could go many places. You can't even sit down in your own yard comfortably anymore because you don't know who's
Yeah,
going to run down the hills with a gun, point it in
yeah,
your face and say, "Hide me in your house because the police coming." And that's the reality of the
yeah.
situation that we live in,
They
and that's the
heard
reality
rapid gunfire in somewhere in Belmont too, and parts of Cascade heard it. So that's to tell you how powerful the weapon was. And I remember going on the Cascade page and I saw where somebody said, heard rapid gunfire, and a lot of people saying, yeah, Belmont. I said, I live this part of Belmont and I heard it. I said, must be the army, they're training. Come on, where these people getting these weapons from?
and that's the
Minister
question,
Young,
Lamar.
Minister of National Security, constituency representative for this area, and we have must be more firepower than the army.
We probably do, and you hear it for New Year's Day when you're not sure if
Yeah.
it's gunfire or fireworks, but
Okay.
fireworks do pop in rapid succession like a AK-47 that we're hearing going off. And I mean, you just said it, Limo, you can't even secure your constituency. You can't secure the borders to keep those guns from coming into the constituency.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this young girl last year who was killed in on she was killed or she was shot on the corner of St. Belmont Valley Road coming from School Providence. Got caught up in some
Uh-huh.
gunfire from the man who was trying to shoot a taxi driver that he was warring with. The other day, somebody I sent them to wash my car. He come back and my mirror got hit. When I asked him what's going on, he's like, a gunman hit it. So, because I asked him, I said, why didn't you go to the station? Why you didn't call me? Why we didn't it was a gunman who hit it, and from the time he tried to tell him something about it, the guy rile up at him and say, "What you gonna do about it?" And I mean, this is the reality of the
Yeah.
situation of the community where we live. So for the people, the man, the reason I asked you that question, who or did you know anybody who signed that petition or who added their voice to that newspaper propaganda piece that said we support Stuart Young? I needed to know because those people they cannot be living in the same constituency that you and I live
No,
in. Cannot. They cannot.
no, no. Must be the councillors who move out of Belmont.
And Lamar, when I study the fact that Belmont it goes through the ebbs and flows of crime and warfare, because there are times that Belmont is quiet and it is the community that
Yeah.
it is supposed to be. And then there are the times that guns and sorry, that drugs scare so blocks serves fighting over
Yeah.
fellas fighting over cocoa and all of this kind of nonsense, and it suddenly get hot again. When I think about the fact that this is the reality, I always ask the question, how is it that Belmont continues to remain under the clutches of the PNM? What is it? Is it that we have a concentration of old brainwashed people? What is it that we have in this particular constituency? I look at all the children, the more you just see them walking up and down, the same ones who right now that school closed, it have nothing about learning online and studying. You think any child in not any child, sorry, you think a percentage of these children in Belmont picking up any online classes or getting work sent to them
No, they have to
You
depend
think
on the
that that
teacher sending work to the parents' phone and then having the time. But the problem is, do the parents care enough to sit down with the children to do the schoolwork? Or do the parents have the capacity to actually teach the children what these teachers teaching you? So you had to have patience to sit down and explain this to the child. First of all, if you don't know as a parent, you had to figure out how to do it. So some of the teachers actually have where you could call them and they will explain to you how to teach them it. So you could sit down and do that. But if you don't have that know-how, this is why we were supposed to be online since the beginning of this government's term. That is the way of the future. I don't know why Garcia insists on us going back to Stone Age. But even in Stone Age, they had tablets. They had the stone that they would write on. So why it is you just can't do it here with the technology? Garcia, forget that.
I like that. And even in the Stone Age, we had tablets. No, but true, Lama, true. I mean, you saying that we should have had this since the start of this
I mean,
administration
we should
term
have
in
had it
office.
before all of that. But I
Exactly.
mean,
That's
you
what I was
came
about
into
to
office,
say.
you should have done that.
Lama, Belmont has, and I'm talking Belmont here a little bit because Belmont, for the past 2 years, we have experienced a level of flooding in the community
Yeah.
as the waters run down the hill. Are you seeing any works? Have you seen any works in Belmont to prevent or mitigate what is predicted to be
No,
the
no.
wettest rainy
They
season that we've had in a couple years?
No, our problems are the hills have slipper drains and box drains that flow into
Mhm.
underground drains and those kind of things. So, in essence, what they're going to have to do, which is going to be costly, is go down in those drains and see where the clogs are, where the blockage is. In order to do that, you have to spend money because you have to pay people to go down in that nasty drain. You have to fully clothe people, head to toe, respirator, everything, and go down there with camera to see. So the engineers would be able to see right where we could expand on whatever drain or whatever water course, where we could build another one. Those kind of, technological advances and structural changes that we need. But you have to have a willing government with the foresight to be able to do those things. Now, if I were MP, I would have done that. I would make sure that because, again, this is my community. I live here. When it floods, I can't pass out. And you can't chance it on the lady young because you don't know what could possibly come down to knock you off there, as would have happened. Remember, somebody that a boulder came down and hit the car, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
there are things that could be done, but the will to do it is not there. When you fix these things, your constituents wouldn't have a problem. Yeah, they prefer us with problems, so they could come and say, yes, well, we need to spend how much billion to fix this, and how much billion to do this, and we will do a survey that will cost another million, and then 10 years have to do another survey because that survey would have been outdated. That's the way the game is played with these people, instead of just doing it.
Lema, you mentioned that they are building that community center in Belmont. And the reason why I roll my eye at that is because I remember when we were doing our campaign for local government elections, I remember going up in the terrace, and the terrace is similar to the Harp, another HGC apartment building complex, about 4 or 5 buildings there. And right across the road from that HEC apartment complex, there's a field, a big, nice field, overgrown with razor grass. And the children of the apartment complex, they constantly, and they were complaining to me at the time that that is where they go to play football, and it is always overgrown. And they've been begging simply just to have an area where they could go and kick ball, burn off some steam, have a sweat, and they don't, and they can't get that. I see children playing in Belmont, and their idea of playing is picking up a piece of wood in the road, putting a ball, and when a car put in a bucket, and when a car pass, moving all of that, let the car pass and
Yeah.
put it back. And I mean, that's childhood stuff you're growing up, but it's unfair that in terms of community development, in terms of sporting, and in terms of giving the child some recreational activities, it is unfair that we're going to build a brand new community center for how much ever millions of dollars when the simple thing as a play area, as a field for children to play football, you can't even keep that maintained so that they have a real proper space. So if a car coming down the road too fast and car brakes in time, can't lick down the children while they're trying to play. And I mean, we were talking
Yeah.
about crime and all of that in the area, and that some youths who have no hope, who have no opportunity, end up in a life of crime. But maybe if we provided them with facilities to channel their energy, channel their boredom, they wouldn't get caught up in that. I talk to boys who in the community who say that they try to, and they say we try to stay away from that life of crime because we know where it does end up. But some of them just feel like they have no other choice
No
apart
choice.
from there being
Yeah.
nothing else to do to make any money. What else in this is there in Belmont to give a young person the hope and opportunity, give them a chance? I watch little boys in this area, Lima. I see them and I see them becoming a statistic. And it honestly it hurts my heart because I know if these were children with a different last name, a different skin color, they were from a different
Yeah.
area, that would have never been their choices in terms of growing into
No.
adulthood.
Yeah, but what's good for the rich, different for the poor.
And it
And the
shouldn't be
community
like that.
center, they do really need building over here. I mean, I've been
It
in there
did
several.
not.
It's nasty, it's unkept. You could have just do over the bathroom, power wash the terrazzo floor, and then polish it properly, install new fans, and they would have been good to go. This whole build over, I don't know why they feel everything is a build over.
Because there's money in that limit. There's money in giving some contractor $10 million or $5 million to rebuild
Yeah,
a community center. I went with Akil about a month ago to do hamper deliveries in Digo Martin West. And right in Bagatelle in Savannah, Trace number one, and all of these areas good now, right on that stretch where there's so many hungry and poor people who reaching out for help. Right there, they have this big stadium, this big empty stadium
yeah,
that they spend billions of dollars on that day. Those same residents whose backyard they build that stadium in can't even use. You can imagine
yeah.
that? All that
Great to see
money.
everyone.
Oh,
We love it. We love the
great to
abuse.
see
Crack
them and
that
we
whip.
shall fail because
Crack it.
no,
They're
but
cracking it. Yeah, because that's nonsense. Why you would build something like that instead of having something more open that anybody could come and go and use at any point in time. You could play cricket if you want, play football, whatever the case is. They don't study these things. They study in the money, the moolah. And I'm sure if we do a investigation into that, you will see where they spent less money than they should have and where the rest went. But I'm sure what's his name must be driving up in a Range Rover all over while you have no job or no employment with the government.
the thing is, and this is what we get in at Lemma. At some point, I think people need to understand that what you vote for is literally what you get. And at some point they have to realize that the money that passing in the area in the constituency, the money that passing in this country, it's not
Yeah.
touching their hand because that that
No.
that same
No, you know
stadium
when
that
it
they
does touch
built
their
in the
hand? When certain MPs want to go up for areas, when certain people want to go up for areas and they come and they hand them a 500 or a 5,000 or a brand new iPhone or whatever as a bribe for a vote, and then they don't see her after. But yeah, how much 100,000 check with husband name and you have no community center or no whatever it is to show for it. and then have the audacity to say, well, I will be returning as a, to be screened for the area. Your investigation didn't even start yet, and you have the gall to say that? And this is what
What
they
do you
just
go
promote.
with what you would and there I feel like I should write a
And you know
counter
what is upsetting?
article. Go ahead.
When this boy, he said he was going up for screening as a PNM candidate, Fuad Abubakar. And then Dr. Rowley said, well, he was never screened for PNM. So it's like, what's a joke there? And then he's saying, he was cut from good. Really? Like, don't your father is? Okay.
It broke up
Because
a
your
little bit
father,
there, Lim.
he said he was cut from good cloth. And do you not know who your father is? What your father did to this country? Thanks to your father, I know the Little Mermaid by heart. I know some Muslim prayers by heart too. Come on, man. Come on. It's like they live in a bubble or something where they feel everybody just forgets all the wrong and all what they have said, and we just go in with what they're saying. We can't be that stupid.
This is a country where we conveniently forget our history. We conveniently forget the things that were done by people. I'll never forget when Malcolm Jones passed away and Philip came out and said, may he not rest in peace, or something along those lines. I was paraphrasing. And so many people, I was not aware, because I came into I don't want to say I came into politics late, but my interest in politics had not yet peaked at that point in time. So I didn't know much about this Malcolm Jones. I knew he was a man who was something with petrogen and tiffin and gas liquids. And when that incident happened, it forced me to go back in the history books and really research this man and really research what he was responsible for. And by the time I was done, I was in full agreement with Philip, because we tend to praise and glorify and applaud and give all kind of accolades to people who have done this country wrong. And it's no wonder why we are in the situation that we're in, because we want to what's this word? We want to sanitize the bad deeds of people, trying to pretend that because they are dead and because they no longer in this world, that their bad deeds did not have an impact on the country, and does not continue to have an impact on this country because of Malcolm Jones. Is probably why Petrogen had to shut down, because of all of the thieving and the corruption from people like him, past and present, whether they are alive or dead. I am not going to praise them just because you're not in this world anymore. The fact that you're not in this world just means that we can't hold you accountable for all the nonsense that you do.
We glorify shirt and tie criminals, and we condemn the little black boys in vests and three-quarters.
Indeed. Anyway, we're due for a break now, and we still have to come back and discuss that last video that you did, as well as open the phone lines for any calls. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Please stay with us.
Antel is Trinidad's most reliable and technically experienced ICT company, providers of quality structured cabling, Cat6 data fiber and power cables. We also stock cabling infrastructure basket-type cable trays for server rooms and data centers. Antel also installs and maintains video security systems, including cameras, alarms, and electronic entrance locks for businesses and residential properties. Call Antel 674-1406 or 783-9250.
Trinidad and Tobago is in a crisis. For far too long, our people have been abused and silenced by our politicians and the business elite.
Just look around you. People are losing their jobs. Crime is at an all-time high. Our justice education, and health systems have failed.
We all know the truth behind all that is wrong in our country. Corruption is destroying us.
Billions of our dollars are being looted by a small group of business people that use our politicians to divide and distract us, so they can take what they want, leaving us with no hope for a better country.
All of this is because we've never had leaders who seek the interests of the citizenry as their first priority.
I am here because I'm not taking it anymore.
I am here because I am not taking it anymore.
I am fed up of politics as it is in Trinidad and Tobago.
It is time we elect leaders with the backbone and the love of our people to go after the corrupt, evil elements in our country, hell-bent on serving their own pockets while we suffer.
And it is time that we as a nation take a collective stand against wrongdoing.
So we are making a plea to the nation to rally behind us.
Because our freedom of speech is being threatened by those who don't want us speaking out on these issues.
A man that I greatly respect is one of those leaders fighting for a better country. His name is Philip Edward Alexander, and he has bravely challenged the people and institutions that are destroying our nation.
To date, he has been threatened with 5 lawsuits for having the courage to ask state agency UDCOT on why the renovations of the President's house cost $89 million.
When experts in the field have estimated that that job should have never crossed 20 million.
Where did the rest of our money go? We refuse to stand by and allow any agency to use our courts to try and silence and punish Philip or any other citizen of our country for trying to seek the truth.
If you're fed up of corruption and want to be a part of real change, support Philip and the Progressive Empowerment Party in this fight.
This fight is not for him or us to bear alone.
It is a fight for you, our loved ones, and our friends.
It is a fight for the future of our country.
You can help by making a contribution to Philip's legal fees and help him and PEP expose the truth and shine light over the darkness of corruption.
Go to our website at peptt.com, click on donate, and see all the ways you can pitch in.
There is hope. Our country can be saved, but we all need to stand together. My name is Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support.
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 I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
We are back, and Lima is joining me for the second hour. I was supposed to have a guest, Reagan Devines. We were actually supposed to discuss what is unfolding in the United States right now pertaining to the George Floyd incident. And for those who are not following international news, we don't normally touch on international news in depth on this show, but I think it is an issue that needs to be highlighted. It needs to be highlighted, particularly as it pertains to what is transpiring in relation to the protests that are happening across the United States right now. I think today is day 8 of the protest. I personally have not seen anything like that since the civil rights movement a couple decades ago. And what is transpiring right now has really, gathered a lot of international interest here in Trinidad as well, Trinidad and Tobago as well. I mean, if we ever want to mimic anything and we want to ever see what standing up for your rights looks like, then we need to look to the United States of America right now. We tend to look to them for all of the bad things, all of the wrong things, but in terms of this, I have to absolutely say, and this is not me in support of vandalization and looting, etc. I'm in full support, however, of citizens finally saying enough is enough and standing up. And it doesn't always have to happen through taken to the streets. It also happens at the polls. It also happens in terms of your vote. Right now, I do think if the Trump administration was under pressure before, and in terms of this COVID-19, his handling of COVID-19, I believe his handling of these protests taking place across more than 40 cities in the United States right now, I think his candidacy, his re-election hinges on what takes place from here. And Reagan, who unfortunately could not make it, he had, I believe, eye surgery yesterday, laser eye surgery. So I'm not sure he could have come onto the program again this morning, but we will have him hopefully back someday soon to discuss what is taking place. But still, I still have my dear Lima here with us, and we're discussing Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, her role as a caretaker in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and not just as a caretaker, but her role as a citizen in this country as well, because she also highlighted another issue on a trip down to, where were you driving to? That was it Barco? Where were you driving?
No, we were going to Poole.
You're going to the pool?
No.
Oh, Poole,
P-O-O-L-E?
P-O-O-L-E?
Yeah, just before Rio
Yes.
Claro. Paul Poole, yeah, he was going to check out, I think, some sort of business or something. And I usually like to go on these drives, the long drives, because you get to see all the roadside vendors and buy things now. Yeah.
Yes, me too. The last road trip that I had, it's been a while. The last road trip I had was with Dabbly, yes, and we went down and I had some down to Point Fortin, and I'm like a big child when it comes to driving. I like to sit down and stick my head out the window and observe the areas that you don't normally get to see. But in addition to seeing all of the sites that you don't see in Port of Spain and living in the city, you also get to see just how dilapidated the country is as well. You get to experience the bad roads. But I love driving, but I hate driving on bad roads. And most of the time when I come home tired, it's not because I drove anywhere far along, it's that I had to duck this pothole, fall in this pothole, hit your tires so hard that you have to go and put air in it, and by the time you're done, your whole body hurting, your back hurting, your mind, you just feel exhausted. And it shouldn't be like that, because Trinidad is such a beautiful place that driving around should be something enjoyable. The drive to the Pitch Lake is probably one of the worst roads you would ever experience in this country.
Yeah. Yep. And it's also a PNM area constituency.
Oh yeah. Great is thee. We shall fail. Anyway, on her drive to Poole, Lima highlighted a really nice piece of land, and as she highlighted the issue of growing and having agricultural land in this country, something that our Prime Minister said that we did not have, or we do not have enough of. We're going to show that video clip now.
No land to farm, right? But watch that. Watch that. Only my Prime Minister, but we have land to grow food. He could say it in our land to grow food in the West, but not down here.
Acres upon acres upon acres of fertile food land, and I'm not even saying farmland, fertile food land, because I could just imagine the amount of trees that we could be growing there. I could just pass there and throw out a handful of seeds and probably come back in a year or two and see all kind of fruit trees growing there. Why is it we
Yeah.
not growing? You need this discussion because you highlighted the issue.
Well, probably because the Prime Minister don't pass Grand Bazaar, so he don't know anything. But that's what I said in the video. He could say the West doesn't have that amount of land. But it doesn't matter where has the land or not. Once we have it, grow it wherever. You could transport it to wherever you need to go. But the fact of the matter is, we have the land. So why would you come out and tell and lie to the population that we don't have land to grow food? What kind of shit is that anyways? In China, they're building 4-story farm building that growing food. You telling me we don't have land? If you don't have land, you build something to go. But then you want to come and stunt for everybody and show them what your gardener doing for you, and you're touching it like you just actually plant and grow things.
That was an insult to farmers. That was an insult and a disrespect to farmers. You there farming in your Movado or your Rolex watch or whatever it was, with your fancy shirt and your fancy pants. That is not what a farmer looks like. That is not. I never see anybody go to farm and look like that. I know I just look like a greasy mess with my little straw hats to shield from the sun. A real farmer knows that farming is a dirty activity. It is activity where you sweat and you get dirty and you get your hands dirty. So the stunts that he was pulling was a disrespect.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And that's it. It might be a hard and a dirty job, but the pride that you get from knowing that you are responsible for feeding the nation is something that you can't take away from farmers, and it's something that as the government of this present day, I think they have done a terrible job as it pertains to farming and agriculture. They have done a terrible job of looking after the interests of our farmers and our small-time wannabe farmers who can't even get a piece of land, a piece of that rich land that you pass in heading to pool. They can't even get a piece of that land to grow some cabbage and some okra and some vegetables.
Yeah. No, and you have come laughing at the bhaji and pumpkin farmers. You know, the day them go to jail, that is all you have to feed them, bhaji and pumpkin every day. Just that alone.
That's too good for them. They will build up the iron. That's too good for them. Get them only 1% fries and burgers. Get them fries and burgers, since that's what we build in, more strip malls and more food outlets than farming land. Vegetables is for people who actually working hard in this country, people who deserve it.
And when you look at the price of these vegetables and things, it really is cheaper to buy fast food and junk than to buy healthy food. And that is the push that this government is doing, pushing you more into buying fast food and healthier stuff. And Clarence is a joke because Clarence is supposed to be the one to talk about growing this and growing that and what we're doing and blah, 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 blah. But he's not doing that. And then Terrence is supposed to be saying, well, the healthier choice for food should be locally grown stuff and not the fast food. But you're not hearing him coming out and say that.
You're not. At this point, even while we're having this discussion, I do want to open the phone lines for you to call in. 769-4590 is that number. If you would like to call in and have your say, speak to Lima, ask a question. She is the caretaker of Port-Moresby North St. Anne. She's also one of 2 deputy political leaders for the Progressive Empowerment Party, and she holds the hat of chairman or co-chair of government. I mean, if she's doing anything else, she would have just as many portfolios as Stuart Young did back in 2018. But she is working very hard, and we have a call coming through right now. Hello, good morning. You're live on Pep Talks in the morning. You're sounding very soft. Can you repeat that?
I'm sounding soft. How about now? Am I sounding better now?
You're sounding much better now, yes.
I just called to say great job on the show this morning. You're doing an excellent job highlighting problems and solutions. This is what has been lacking from our politics for a long time. Excellent work.
Thank you very much for that. You heard Philip Lima.
Thank you. Oh, that was Philip?
Lima said,
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
that's Philip. You didn't pick up that half of 1% voice, yeah?
Yeah. What's going on today? I call it be nice. Be nice back.
Today's Tuesday. I'm not nice on a Tuesday. Sorry about that.
Obviously. Obviously.
Obvious.
I wanted to bring up because you have me thinking about the young people who not getting to play sports, and I like that issue because, and I just raised this. I just raised the issue that if parents and the geriatric squad that he was lining with down in the bush in the backyard setting the other day, responsible enough to carry some party, so they're banning the young people from playing sports because they say the young people who cannot get the virus will bring the virus home for them. If all you're not playing home and protecting your own self, stop punishing the young people. Open back. If you're going to open back West Hall, open back the Savannah, open back the park, open back King George Park, open St. Mary's College grounds and St. Joseph grounds next year. That's what else we're talking about. Why did the state not take up the cost of maintaining the grounds for St. Mary's, PRC, Fatima, St. Joseph? All of these grounds lock up tight, and little children looking for somewhere to play. All of those points were good points. Across the road from Powder Magazine, we have 50,000 young people looking for a place to kick a ball. They can't get nowhere to kick a ball, but they take the West Park Savannah and building somebody's version of New York City stroll through the park in the evening. The young people need a place to work out all of that excess energy and to keep themselves attached. That's why we can't compete globally on sports. We don't treat our young people with the respect that we deserve for them to find it. And you're doing a real good job this morning touching on those issues. Great job.
Thank you much for that, Philip. I just saw your post. I'm actually going to read it out on the program now.
All right, later.
That was PEP political leader Philip Alexander. If you did not pick up on the voice, Lima, how could you not pick up on that voice? Come on. That's a
I don't know.
voice.
He was sounding a little soft at first, so I thought it was a foreigner
Yeah,
calling.
A foreigner. I do want to read this post. I want to read this post from Philip because yes, we did highlight this issue about the youths earlier, Lima, when we said that we're building more community centers and stadiums, but the little playgrounds in the communities for the youths to go and play and kick ball and they don't have to play in the road. Yet we have Forest and them stunting on their little get together over the weekend. No mask, no social distancing, no more than 5 of them in one space. Let me read this post from Philip here. Stop punishing our youths to protect irresponsible old people. Oh, I love that. I didn't read it over. Stop punishing our youths to protect irresponsible old people. Punishing young people who cannot get the virus and banning them from sports to protect old people like Faris because of the feeble argument that the youth will take the virus home and kill the old people like Faris is ridiculous. Especially if we are banning the youth from healthy sporting activities in the hot sun, while Faris and the rest of his geriatric squad jam up together in a damn backyard in the bush, somewhere to party, putting their own selves at risk. Faris needs to be told all the hair dye, supplements, and tight shirts won't fool coronavirus. Sorry. Faris needs to be told all the hair dye, supplements, and tight shirts won't fool coronavirus that attacks people his age, and he and the rest of the elderly at that fest was grossly irresponsible in the extreme, where the transmission of the virus is concerned, and makes the point. If these Peter Pans don't have the self-awareness to social distance, don't punish the youths. Open back all playfields, all parks, all savannas, and allow the young people to engage in sport up until 6 p.m. while there's still sunlight that has been proven to cut the lifespan of COVID-19 to nothing. For elders like Faris worried about getting COVID-19, keep yourself home until the post is clear.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, you open the mall, which is an enclosed AC building that could circulate COVID, but you wouldn't open the beach? Come on.
Listen.
When you have the cold, the first thing they will tell you, go for a sea bath, the salt water does bring down the cold. What it is you're trying to do?
Indeed. Good morning to Enrique Tuwari, who's watching us on the live this morning. Lema, he sent to tell you good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. Good morning to Ian De Souza and Blanc Antonio or Antonio Blanc, Rose Fong Chang, Lorena, some of our regulars on the live program this morning. Good morning to Christian De Leon, who I know is watching because his mentor, Lima McLeod Wilkinson, has graced our program this morning. Good morning to all of the viewers. Good morning to anybody who wants to call in and is feeling shy. Please don't wait until the last 10 minutes of the program. If you want to call in and talk your talk, now is the time. 769-4590 is the number to call in. I will also read out your comments on the live. Somebody said, wake up young people, vote PEP. I don't know this person, Hezron Ramru. I don't know you, but you're obviously a smart individual. Indeed. Wake up young people and vote PEP. Lima, back to that topic about agriculture and farming. How is your house garden going, by the way? Mine is in a hot mess right now.
Well, everything died except the watermelon. Right? I suffered some predial larceny. My dogs destroyed a couple
We have
things.
a call coming. We have a call coming.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. You're live on Pep Talks in the morning.
Morning. Program excellent this morning.
Thank you for that.
Right. I live in my problem is a water problem. That has been going on in Joker and John Karapo for a while now. Right. And what goes on is the last time I get water was the 14th of January.
Wow.
And I went to the counselor, but my mother called the counselor, and the counselor was very disrespectful. So he told my mother that and he went to WhatsApp, and they say they're sending water week, Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. And I can you get that to my pipe? You understand? And I went there and tell him, all the documents are selling water in the area, but the water doesn't reach everybody, because people low. You understand? Since January I get water, I didn't get water since that. I don't go to my farm to wash clothes. It's convenient to them. Come on, we come not do another job. And they come and vote for you. This election, that's madness.
What area you said you're from?
Crapo, Joker extension, evergreen.
Listen, I've been getting calls about water issues across Trinidad and Tobago. I know Davie did not have water, Barraco did not have water. Somebody called me from near in Central. She did not have water, even though they installed a water main, a new well. You're telling me in Karapo that you don't have water. What is the response from your MP? What is the response from your local council? Are they answering? Are they accessible during this time? Caller, you there? You seem to have lost that caller. Hello?
The counselor was disrespectful when they called.
The councillors and they'll be very disrespectful, some of them, especially this councillor in Karapo here, right? And no matter how you ever talk to them, you're back at disrespectful, you like to pout yourself still. And this will be going on. Yes, sir.
All right, caller. I'm going to take another call and answer your issue offline. Thank you very much for calling in. All right. Hello, good morning. You're live on Pep Talks in the morning.
Hi, good morning, Felicia. How you guys doing down there?
We're good.
Okay, I'm calling from here in Florida, Miami, Florida. Okay, all right. I know you're talking about the situation up here. Just want these idiot Piedamites to know something. When people are just tired of something, you just got to stand up for your right. What happened here in the States? All right? And I can't understand how these people just could continue voting for these crooks and roaches, the PNM, and being abused. You understand? And keep putting these people back there, and they have nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope that people get up there in Trinidad and vote for the TEP because you guys doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the COVID-19, you people ain't got no COVID-19 down there, man. COVID-19 is up here, not down there. The guy they call him Belias Singh, whatever the idiot name, you guys continue people, man. They're just fooling you all. You understand what I'm saying? Those guys are just nothing but crooks and bandits. And I just hope that you guys go into office and hold these people accountable and jail these people. Understand? And just jail these people. Okay? I just hope you guys have a good morning and follow the states, but not by looting, but by standing up for what is right. Stand up and vote out that thinking crooked CNN you all have there, man. And like you all say, like these people they just like to be abused. They like being abused. You understand? And all I'm gonna say, you guys have a good day and vote them out and jail them. You understand? You guys have a good day.
Thank you very much for that, caller.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Lima, Philip asked on the live if Johnny English was the person who raided your garden, if that's why you had experienced radio larceny.
No, it was the dogs. My dogs. They destroyed everything.
It was the
They
dogs?
root it out, they bite it up. Yeah.
Is it me or you're coming across very softly? So, producer, if that's something that we could fix, I don't know if it's on my end or on Lima's end or on the live distribution, the live broadcast end. But yeah, no, Lima, so back to your farm, the dogs and they raided us. You have the problem with the dogs. I
Yeah.
have the problems with chickens.
Yeah, but I got back some stuff, so I'm trying a different strategy to keep it. What somebody advised me with the tomatoes is before I transplant it, make sure they are a little bit bigger and strong. The roots are stronger before I transplant. So trying it again. We shall see.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. And I put up a picture of my garden, what it looks like right now, because half of it was also a compost heap, and I used to throw all kind of rotten fruits and vegetables there. A whole set of seeds from that I don't even know or recognize started to grow, and I just left it. So right now, in one small little spot, when I tell you a small spot, in one little area, I have lettuce, tomato, pumpkin, all kind of madness growing in one space, and it's looking kind of crazy right now. So, but I don't know what to do. I just leaving it to grow. I watering it as much as possible. My mint, I'm very proud of my mint plants. They have survived. I thought they were dying, but apparently they withered first and then they catch life. So they are growing really strong right now. The other things though have to weed and come
Apparently,
again, like
I'm
you.
mostly good at seasoning things that don't need a lot of maintenance. Shadow Benny, that could grow anywhere. Apparently, I'm good with them kind of things. Chive, yeah. Things that need delicate care. Apparently, I'm not that delicate.
I have an egg crate right now with 6 that I planted, 6 pimentos in about 3 months ago, and I have yet to see anything come up. I stopped watering it. I figured that they died. I mean, I put them to germinate at first, and the little thingy came out, whatever the hell they call that, and then when I put them in the egg crate, nothing came up. So maybe I'm like you and all of the things that need delicate care. But I'm also a terrible mommy, though.
Somebody
Some
told
days
me
I
you need
forget
to talk. No, they say, well, I am probably a over nurturer because I soak it down every day, wet it, wet, and then
Wetting,
the guy told me when you wet tomato too much is dye.
Oh, really?
So I think that's He said you have to sprinkle the water, not like pour. So I said, okay. So I'm an over nurturer. Okay, you need some water. Okay, why are you looking like you're withering? Okay, pour water. I don't know.
Philip, and
I'm
the
not
live
good with
saying grow
delicate.
guava. grow guava and mango. I have a guava tree, two guava trees for that matter. One is like a big
I
kind of
hate
sour
guava.
sweet kind of guava. You hate guava?
Guavas look like brains.
I probably had too much guava as a child because I had a guava tree. I used to eat guava every day, and every guava season, there was one particular guava season that I decided to become a young entrepreneur, and I said I was going to create my own thing called guava grated chow. So instead of cutting up the guava for chow, I grated up the guava and I mixed it up. And if you thought guava looked like brains then, it was really absolutely disgusting. And I stood at the side of my room and I tried to sell that. Nobody bought any, but I ate most of it. It was yummy though. But it's probably the reason why I have so many guavas wasting on my tree right now. And as I see Philip on the live, I'll remember to send some guava for you, Philip, for you and Bella to eat some of that yummy goodness. I have a cherry tree as well that is looking absolutely neglected right now. I think it needs to get some fertilizer
And
or
why I
something
don't
like
like
that.
guava even more too, there's use this guava scent for when they spraying for mosquitoes, so you'll know. So from the time I smell that, it's like, they're spraying for mosquito. And then he's like, no, you're under a guava tree. Okay. So I don't like guava.
That is the first time I'm hearing that. Really?
Yeah, they use guava scent, so you'll know that they're spraying a chemical in the air.
But look at that. That is the first time that I ever heard that. Charmaine Perez is saying spray the tomato leaves so they can smile.
Okay.
She's saying that,
I
and
will try that.
I just remember that I haven't watered my plants since what's today's Tuesday. The last time
And
they
then
got
you
water
know
was
what else
Sunday.
too? I went in an agro shop and I bought salt and all kind of fancy things. Something to mix in water to spray for bugs and something to mix in water to throw in the soil for them to get nutrients and stuff. And I mix up the two of them, so I don't know which one is for which. So I just have it there and I'm not sure which one to use because next thing I do it and I kill the plant. So all of that is problems for me here. Yeah. Yeah.
You make me feel good. I'm a bad mommy to my plants, but you are also it seems like you are in the same boat with me. Yeah, Charmaine saying spray your plants with water. Grow garlic and pepper. Grow garlic and pepper, but like I said, those never came up.
My garlic died the minute I put it in the soil.
I started mine in the soil and it was actually growing really good until the rogue chickens from in the neighbor in the backyard came and they dig up all the garlic and I really sympathize with
It is
farmers
not
when they
easy.
say,
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah.
why I said, yo, I will buy the things from you all. I can't grow it, clearly.
But it brings you a sense of calm and relaxation though. I don't know about you when you go out and you do the watering process, at least when you remember to water them and you pull up the weeds and you see the progress between the yesterday and today. Nothing does plants well as much as rainwater do. I have noticed that I could water plants and they will not look as vibrant and lively as they do after some rain. And I don't know if your plants out into the open like that, but mine are. And when I come back after it rains, I notice there's a stark difference. So rainwater is clearly good.
It's like give them that vibrance that brings to life that regular water do say. So
But
yes,
back to farmers. Back to our farmers though, and if we're experiencing this on such a small scale, I really feel it for those farmers down in Barrackpore who go through all of this trouble to grow their plants and then have bandits come and tie them up, lock them up, beat them up, rob them of their plants, and then go and sell these produce at the side of the highway.
And then
Because
only
we
for
have
the
no
police the ball, well, we're gonna strengthen our radio last and his squad, but how? You could send your elite squad to get Coleman Birds on phone, but we can't put an elite squad for Pradia Larceny or for the missing girls that they can't seem to find. Well, I don't understand. It's like they are not prioritized.
Indeed, and Lima, I don't know if you were following the story of the human trafficking bus that we had in Venezuela last week. And from that bus, there was a young woman who disappeared last year. I believe it was September last year. Or November last year, she disappeared right before Christmas. And her mother strongly suspected, I believe it was revealed, and she found a letter in her room that seemed to suggest she left to join some religious organization, aka a cult. And she, in the bus we had in Venezuela, she saw a picture of a young woman who she strongly suspected to be her daughter. And I mean, we have that photo image, we have the evidence that there is a connection between human trafficking rings in Venezuela and here in Trinidad and Tobago. And you just asked the question, we could find Coleman Bird's son phone, we could
Yeah, but the thing about it is, clearly our Minister of National Security has a very close connection with Delcy, the fact that she could come over here during closed borders and whatnot. So couldn't we use those same connections to find out more information for the mother? Because our mother is not going to give this up until she gets closure. So why not organize and do that for all the children that have been missing and give these parents closure so they could move on with their lives, they could grieve and do the normal process and become mentally healthy, because this is not going to be mentally healthy for any of them. They're going to walk around with that paranoia that every time she sees somebody that look like her, she's going to think about her. She's going to think that person look like my child. So her birthday come up, this is what my child would have looked like today. I wonder what she would have been doing, what job career she would have chose, all these different things. And as a Minister of National Security who prove that you're willing to do all kind of underneath on things, why you can't do that for your people? The video where he gets his ex-stepdaughter once removed out of Trinidad and Tobago with her drug case and all kind of thing, you can't find out about a simple girl who went missing. The day something like that happened to them, you will see how fast Gary will pull out the elite squad and marine squad, and the air guard will start to work and all kind of things. But for our citizens who going missing on a daily basis, you telling me you can't pull out all stops for these people to find out why, how, when?
And Lima, what you see there, I mean, the Minister of National Security, for God's sake, he finding himself in all kind of bacchanal, all kind of discussion, everything other than what he is responsible for, which is securing the borders, which is securing the citizens within their communities. We were talking earlier about Belmont and the hot times in Belmont when there's warfare. We were talking about the rapid gunfire in Cascade. Everything, we're now talking about the children and the women who have been trafficked in and out of Trinidad and Tobago. Everything that this man is actually responsible for. We were talking about him as an MP of Port of Spain, North, St. John's West, and what is his track record. Everything that he's responsible for, everything that he's accountable for, you hear nothing from Stuart Young. Like that closure, a lot of these people, a lot of these families, that is all they need, some kind of closure. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be a parent and have a child missing, and not only are they missing, you will never know what became of them. In some cases, and people say in some cases you rather know that your child dead, at least you have a grave to visit, at least you have somewhere on that child's birthday that you can go and go to the tombstone and cry. When you have a missing child, when you have to wonder what became of them as a sex slave, were they killed? Were they sent to some part of the world where they're working as a slave in somebody's garden? Like, what became of my child? What became of my mother? What became of my brother? What became of my family member? Closure. Stuart Young, you are responsible for that. And the fact that he can wake up every morning knowing that on his desk or in his cabinet or whatever, there's a file of missing people that he has not yet ordered. The police service ordered, our Coast Guard ordered, our immigration to look and investigate into, means that he has failed as a minister. You have failed as a minister. We know you fail as an MP. Like I say, I need to write an article as a constituent of Fortisbury North St. Anne's West to debunk that propaganda piece of nonsense they put out last week saying that we support them. If that's the case, I formally renounce my status as a constituent of Fortisbury North St. Anne's West, because I do not support that at all. You have failed as an MP, you have failed as a minister of national security. Every morning that you wake up, we cannot answer questions to families who are missing their loved ones, their family members. Every morning that they wake up in uncertainty with no closure.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. We are a dot on the map. When you're telling me you can't secure this country, just come out and say you don't want to. I mean, you prove it already, so you might as well just say the truth. But then they're not good at saying the truth. They love to lie. Everything's a lie. Everything.
But Emma, we know all of the ports. We know all of the points of illegal entry into this country. We can name them. They have it on a map. They know the area where the drugs come in. They know the area where they're trafficking victims into this country. Why and how have we not been able to lock down those areas yet? What are we waiting on? What are we
Because he probably doesn't physically know these areas. You see, he only know about north and the west. Ask him about Moruga, no? What you know about Moruga? What you know about Point Port? She must be down there either. She must know from other parts. She must have her own private boat to go and pick it up.
Indeed, when you're living in the West, your drugs and they rolling up on your in your backyard. You know, when you look over at what is the port by Bayshore and all of these places, what security is there? You can literally pull your boat up into the backyard of Bayside Towers and offload your drugs and guns. You're right. What does she have to know about Moruga? Moruga is for them hardback criminal and them to bring in their drugs. When you're from the West, you bring in your drugs on your boats, normal on your your DDI boats, on your coolers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Moruga is poor people problems.
Indeed. 7694594. Call in if you want to have your say. The caller earlier who spoke about no water. I mean, sometimes I feel like a stuck record on the show, just highlighting issues, repeated issues over and over, because it seems to be the same problem across Trinidad and Tobago. We are experiencing the driest, one of the driest dry seasons ever, on the heels of the hurricane season, which started yesterday, on the heels of what is going to be the wettest rainy season ever. And the insanity continues, because following that very wet rainy season that we are about to have, we are going to go back into a period of drought. This is the life of Trinidad and Tobago. This is what we live.
It's like we're stuck in a cycle that we can't break free from.
I was watching this movie recently, Happy Death Day. Let me just take this next call here. Hello, good morning. You're live on Pep Talk in the morning.
Good morning, Felicia Woda, General of the Politics. PAP Party. The Deputy Political Leader, Muslima. Good morning,
Hi.
Mistakes. Mr. Stuart Young, since you're talking about that topic, right? It seems that he and Delcy have a good relationship. And guess who stepped in that the same package of 161 million booking buses?
Caller, 1 second. Your line is breaking up a little bit. I know you're calling me on WhatsApp, but you can move closer to your Wi-Fi router or to an area where your signal may not be much better.
What I'm seeing is Delcy and Stuart Young seem to have a good relationship, and his stepdaughter got caught with cocaine. And who, by the United States of America, who under trafficking, you understand what I say?
I understand.
I find the packages look just like the same packages, the same cover of the package, look like the same package that the stepdaughter get caught with.
It is alleged.
You understand? So the way how the country running right now, I gain a headache, and I just want to say thanks for giving Trinidad and Tobago another option. You understand? So that we could vote with a clear mind, because videos of farmland, the Prime Minister saying it on a way to plant. Right? We now come out, we in a pandemic right now, and they one set of traffic laws come out from nowhere.
Yeah.
So what are they really focusing on? Just money. Let me came on none of us.
Yeah.
Any money to study in.
Well said.
Right, have a good day. And thanks for
You too.
everything.
Thank you for that, caller. Thank you very much for calling with your
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
And you know what else?
Really bring
As he said that they only on money, I ordered stuff from online through my couriers. And what they told me is customs are checking 100%. So they check in every single package and you have to go by appointment to thing. So since the 15th of April, my stuff has reached the courier and they in Trinidad. Look how long now and I can't get them yet. Right? So that's another way that they're milking people and they're trying to shut down online shopping. That could only come from the Minister of Finance because you're trying to frustrate people so that they would stick to buying things locally, but your local people ripping off people with the price of things. So what is the point of shopping online if this is what you're doing? You're trying to frustrate people. Why are you doing that? That's been wicked. And I'm sure people who ordered online on realizing what is happening. Your couriers getting problems to ship stuff in because already borders closed or whatever the case is. But then your customs putting extra pressure on people with how they're doing their things now. They were supposed to have some meeting with all the couriers and they keep putting it off. Why? Hurry up and sort it out so people could know what to do. But you're trying to shut down online shopping so everybody could go buy Sapka and buy the overpriced thing.
Lima, as you raised that and that issue about frustrating the average citizen, I mean, you're seeing it all in all kinds of aspects with the shopping online, with the new traffic regulations that they just implemented, claiming that it is supposed to facilitate better driving. When things to facilitate better driving, like fixing the roads, we're not doing, putting traffic lights and stop signs where they need to have traffic lights and stop signs, places where traffic lights and stop signs get licked down for how much months and years now that have not been put back. Those are things that also deal with driving and facilitating smoother driving and safer driving that we're not doing. However, you're finding all kind of ways to tackle citizens and you're checking their packages one by one and you're delaying the process. They're checking all of the containers that ship in toys and bringing drugs and guns in the containers.
That is the point. Clearly, obviously not. You want to frustrate the middleman, but the rich people who could bring in whatever, however, and you don't check it thoroughly. Because containers is left unstuffed on the port, so you don't know what it is they have inside of there. And then don't talk about the bribes or whatever. It is they say some of them is be getting. So please, cut the bullshit. You're doing for one and not the other. And why? I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't check packages, but if you're doing it for the small man, you have to do it for the container loads. Obviously, it's not us bringing in cocaine. I can't bring it in through FedEx or whoever. And it's not them little black boys who doing it. Obviously, somebody high up the food chain with the money, the US, the moolah. The US we can't get.
Is always the poor people and the people who try to do the right thing who get the short end of the stick. It's always them who have to fight up with this system that was clearly designed to frustrate you and force you into doing the wrong things and the illegal things. And I was talking last week, and I raised this a couple of times about me refusing to pay for my license because I wanted to do it the right way. But there's also an aspect of that I did not raise, and I have to mention as we discussing this right now. There's some people who want to do the right things in this country, but because the system is so corrupt, you have no choice but to follow the way of doing the corrupt activities. There are some driving and licensing instructors who would fail you intentionally until you pay them, you know. And I have fortunately never experienced this, but there are some people who have gone to get their license 1, 2, 3 times and they barely exit the line, or for some stupidness they fail them. But as soon as they pass money, you pass. And the way we have been designed and set up this country, and that is just using the example of the licensing office. What about in public in cases of the public sector? What about where you go to file your taxes and you pay a little money and decide? What about customs where you pay them a little extra money, or the Coast Guard? Here, my boat coming in at 3 a.m. in the morning. You all make sure you're not patrolling at that time. What about the immigration officers? Let me just take this call from overseas. Hello, good morning. You are live on Pep Talks in the morning.
Good morning, Felicia. This is Shamin calling you from Brooklyn.
Good morning, Shamin from Brooklyn. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning, Lemon. How are you?
Hi, morning. I'm fine.
Listen, I left Trinidad years and years ago, and I am following you guys for almost 2 to 3 years. I was listening to Fuad Baker, and I don't know anything about Trinidad politics, you know, because I left home a long, long time ago. For you to be a member of parliament, you have to be a PNM, because right now PNM is in power. If you want to be a member of parliament or you want to run for election, if you're not a PNM, you can't run? I don't know. I was just asking.
No, that's not the case. Right now we have members of parliament. To be a member of parliament, you just have to win the seat of your constituency. So we have some members of parliament who are actually on, so the representative for Karen West, I think. What, I can't remember his name, but he's actually UNC. You just have to win the seat in which you go up for. So you can actually be an independent and win the seat as well. But you don't have to be particularly PNM or UNC to be a member of parliament, an MP for your area.
One more question I wanted to ask you. Fuad Baker, is he a leader of a political party? Does he have his own party?
Yeah.
That you know of?
He does, yes. There is a political organization that he formed, yes.
So that's a catch-22, because if he has his own party, why he want to go and run for a seat? I was just wondering.
Well, it's his son who's running for it's Abu Bakr who has the party, but his son was going up for the PNM seat, right?
I think his son is the political leader of his party, of the party.
That was my question. What is the problem? Only because that is his father, that is why he's been pushed aside?
Well, there are many reasons why he could possibly be pushed aside. One of them being the connection that he has with his dad and what happened in this country back in 1990. The fact that he is Lima, you're saying that he is the one who has, his son is the one who has the political party.
Yeah.
Right, so Lima is actually confirming that it's his son who has the political party, not Abu Bakr himself. So, with that being said, I'm actually now considering how could he have been screened for the PNM if he has his own political party.
That was my question. If he has his own party, why would you want to go and be a member?
I don't know. Very
to try to see if you could get a seat. It was confusing because I was listening to him and he sounded very far-fetched, but he said a lot of things that raised my eyebrows. But you know, I'm gonna listen a little bit more though.
I also heard that when he was not successful, he said that the PNM is going to lose anyway. I mean, if that's not the case, I don't want to say.
From what I was listening, what he was not saying is he has a lot of information as to the reason why the PNM will lose. Whatever it is, he alone knows what it is. But whatever information he has, I believe Rowley had was to put him and give him a seat, give him the opportunity to run. And seeing that Rowley didn't give him the opportunity to run, we don't know what's going to happen next.
Indeed.
Because I don't think it's over.
It's not, and that is the bacchanal politics that the Progressive Empowerment Party wants to move away from. And you don't get your way in this organization, so you go and back talk the organization that you were supporting, the same organization that you were running for, having a seat in, and the political locus, and the Philip used the word so adequately last week. They're not grasshoppers; they call them political locus. They're hopping all over the place. And it really shows you what loyalty means to these people. And the fact that they have a lack of loyalty and a lack of, I would say, loyalty, transparency, all of the good attributes that many of these people seem to be lacking. It really does tell the story beforehand of why this country is as it is, because these are the people who want to run for seats. These are the people who sit in parliament to represent us, and they can't even, before an election process, they can't even be disciplined enough to lose and lose with dignity. They have to go in the name of another one, trying to pull the other one down. I mean, if this is what you're doing before office, what do we expect from you if you do get into office?
The Trinidadians on a whole, right now, they are so blind. You want to tell me they don't read the newspapers and they don't listen to the news and realize that it really is time for a change? Everything is going downhill. They really need to wake up, you know.
And that's why we wake them up every morning with pep talks in the morning. And Charmaine, I want to thank you very much for calling, and I really appreciate you giving us your contribution this morning. I
see the time. I know you have to go. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, Charmaine. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It really warms my heart when all of these overseas people can call in and see what we here in Trinidad and Tobago failing to see. Open up your damn eyes and see what is becoming of our country. Look, we have about 2 minutes left. You want to do your wrap up now?
Well, it had one other thing I wanted to talk about, but 2 minutes is too short for that. But I'll just give a little snippet. When Rowley came into office, he and the opposition focused on raise their pensions, right? They negotiated for their pensions and judiciary, judges and magistrates. Right, fine, the judges and magistrates might need it. But what about your public servants? Your public servants going on 7 years without negotiations being settled. And you have no kind of closure to that. Why? You're talking about clap for nurses. Nurses, they want no damn clap. They want their money. Everything else raising in the country. You telling me you can't get these people a proper salary? You want them to do the essential. They have to go above and beyond. Majority of them do go above and beyond. Some of your police officers, your prison officers, all these people, you telling me you can't settle these people negotiations? That's wickedness. But you settle your cell phone, your own though. So you alone must live large and good and be able to go in the grocery and pick up what you want. But everybody else have to work with calculator and add up for the money that you have. That's unfair. People need to start to study these different things. Progressive Empowerment Party, I could assure you, we will not be doing that stupidness. The settle negotiations after the time pass, when it should be during the period you're negotiating for. That's real shit. Let's have people suffering like that. So we need to, Trinidad and Tobago, we need to open our eyes. We need to see the bigger picture. We need to cut out I'm a PNM and I'm a UNC and see what the issues are and deal with it as the issues pop up, not by party. And stop this racial tribalism bullshit. It is one people under one flag. Not because as an Indian I'll vote for UNC regardless of what shit they're doing, or because I'm PNM, I'm a black man, I'm supposed to go with PNM. That's foolishness. It is one people under one flag, and that is the point, and that is the only thing that matters.
Very, very well said, Lima. And thank you very much for joining me on the program this morning. Every time you come on, I get messages. Some people who tell me that you should be on more often. And I am hoping that you can take over one day, at least a week of this program as we move closer to general election. And I spread my focus between this and my finance responsibilities as chairman. You bring a realness to the program. You speak for the people on the ground, for the middle income earners. You speak for the families, the mothers who are in this country and experience what it is like to try and do the right thing and be stifled in all manner of ways because of this broken failure of a system that we have, this broken failed government that we have. So as always, Lima, please thank you very much for bringing that onto the program this morning. Please continue all of the good work that you're doing with the videos, with the reaching out to your constituents, the members, the burgesses of Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. Please keep doing your videos. Please keep being real. If you would like to follow Lima on Facebook, Lima McLeod Wilkinson, follow her and you can see all of her videos, etc. Reach out to her, send her a message. If you are from Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and you would like to be a part of her walkabout team. We are totally out of time for the program this morning. I do want to leave you with a motivational piece for the day, something to give you some energy as you continue on your day, and it's something that motivates me as well. The statement is, the harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. It's what I feel every day working in the Progressive Empowerment Party. Keep dreaming big, keep working hard, and trust me, the rewards at the end, it cannot be overstated. Thank you for joining us. We will be back tomorrow with a whole new panel of guests. Hopefully I get Regan to come on tomorrow and discuss what I wanted to bring up with you today. Please be safe, Trinidad and Tobago, during this period of social distancing. Remember, let us stay together by staying apart. I'll see you tomorrow.